Is Dehiver Guerra, and I am part of the team Campus Lost and Found. We are the ones who ended up building this website. So this video is mostly a install guide. I'm going to be running you guys down everything you would need to run this application. So here we are at the GitHub. So essentially at the GitHub, it has a good amount of instructions already, but I'm going to run you through all of them first. So first you want to make sure you have node.js. So if you don't have node.js, you make sure you install it. You can go into your terminal and install it. Make sure you have Java, the JDK. Make sure it's 17 plus because we use 17 in our project. For the mobile app section, you want to make sure you have Kotlin and Android Studio. You also want to have MySQL Workbench and MySQL Server, as well as Git. Git, it's essential as a computer science student. You can either use IntelliJ or VS Code, either works. So before we start here, let me show you. So I'm going to guide you. Here you have the workbench. You can install the MySQL Workbench, and once you do, you also have to install the server. Right now I'm on a Mac, so I have the Mac download. But once you do that, you're able to launch right here MySQL Workbench. When you're on this page right here, you should have the server and everything ready. If you don't have the server, it's not going to let you go inside the connection. So it's going to ask you for a password. It should be the password that you used when you downloaded the app. So essentially you're here. Also in the project files, I will have a SQL file that you can use. You can come to here, make sure you create a lost and found database. And then once you go into the server tab, you go to data import, and there you would import that SQL file. So for now, let me close this. Let me show you guys how to do everything else. So basically, once you have the project cloned, here it is, you git clone, and this is the repository that it's in. And you have the folder, you can cd to the folder, go into the directory. Then you essentially, here I have the backend set up. You can do that as well. So you can cd backend because we have 3 different directories. We have one for backend, we have one for front end, and we have one for mobile. So to start up the backend, you would have to go cd backend. Then you want to run Gradle clean build. So you would most likely want to do this in a terminal. So if you go here, you can do cd and then backend. And let's see. Okay, so let me just copy the command because I haven't used it in a minute. So you would use Gradle clean build and it'll build the project for you. It'll download all the dependencies that you would need for the project. So essentially it's going to be readying up the back end for you. Also, it's not going to let you run the back end if you don't have this application properties file. This is where all your keys are going to be, so you want them to be hidden. So most likely it's going to be in a git ignore. But I do have a sample one here with the Spring data source password. That's going to be the password to your database. Most likely it's going to be root, so that can be your username. And then here you're going to want to generate a JWT key. You can do that online. Once you do that, you can put the credentials here. But make sure I have this file uploaded to the GitHub, so you can pretty much do that there. Once you have everything filled in, you can then run the server. And to run the server, it pretty much just looks like this. Once you build it and it runs the tests and it says that they have passed, then you can easily run the server here. It's going to be executing, and this basically means that it's available. Okay, so let's close that. All right, so back to where we were. So that is to start up your back end. Boot run here, you have the commands there. Now for the front end is pretty self-explanatory. Everything is already on the project itself. So to start the front end, you just cd into the front end. I can show you here on the code. So here you go cd front end, front end. And then here, oh my God, front end. And then here you basically just, if it's your first time, you want to install everything from the JSON file, so npm install. And then once you click, you press enter, it's going to install everything you need. But essentially, once you finish installing everything, your back end is running and your front end is installed. You're going to do npm run dev, and that's going to show this. And this is going to be the local tab that it's going to run in. So when you click it, I don't have the back end running right now, but this is what the front end looks like. Currently, there's nothing here because the back end is not running. But yeah, as for MySQL, I already explained that. I explained the front end. For the mobile app, this is a Mac, so I don't have Android Studio, but you can basically go online, go to Google. You can Android Studio, download Android Studio, make sure you have Kotlin. And once you do that, you can set up the project, you can run it, it downloads all the dependencies that you need, and you can run the app, just set up the emulator, and you're pretty much done. You just have to make sure that all the endpoints and everything are set up. So the endpoints would be authentication controller. Everything here looks good. And these are all the endpoints. These are authenticated. Right now, only the admin one is limited to admin. But yeah, that's pretty much how to install the project. It's not so difficult. Everything is pretty much on the GitHub. So all the instructions are on the GitHub and they're going to be posted in the project folder. So good luck.